my moniker is not super mom, it's supernatural mom. And
Right.
so I had healed myself of a schwannoma tumor, which is a nerve root tumor in my chest 19 years ago without drugs or surgery by making just natural shifts and detoxing my body, my home. And so ever since I've been on the lookout for really natural ways of healing. And so Bibi, when you called me about this, yes, I was so excited. But I was a little skeptical. And I remember after, every week you'd call and check in with me. What are you noticing? How are you? And I honestly, like Cynthia was saying, it was so subtle. I didn't really notice much, but the 30th day kind of looked down at my ankle, and I had been kicked in the leg as a teenager playing soccer, and it never really healed properly. And as I got older, especially in my 50s, it got really gnarly looking, and edema and bruising, and the veins were just not working well. So 30 days later, I had gone, first of all, to doctors. I had gotten injections, saline injections, and then finally they told me they wanted to do surgery where they go in and into my femoral artery and kill one of the veins that goes down to my ankle. And luckily I didn't do that because I discovered the patch instead. So, sorry, anyway, a month later, the swelling, the edema was completely gone from my foot, and it started just decreasing in terms of the bruising. And by month 3, I'd say it was about 80% better. Now it's 6 months. It's kind of leveled off, and I'm still working on it, but it's dramatic. I'll show you some pictures, but I wanted to share some other things that have happened to me since then. My sleep has improved. My overall energy is great. I remember there were many times where I would feel like I'd be reading a book in the afternoon, I'd be nodding off, and I thought, oh God, I'm getting old. This is not a good thing. That doesn't happen anymore. My skin, so not only is my skin softer, but I had this like brown spot here. You could barely see it now. It's faded. I used to have to put like 3 different kinds of cover up on it, and now I can barely see it. My memory is better. My math skills are better. It just kind of surprised me because I've always said I'm terrible in math. And then someone kind of said something and I said, oh, that's 30%. It's like, I don't even know where that came from because you're absolutely right. So, and then I had a wart on my knee, this gnarly wart, and I decided to put a glutathione patch on it. And when I pulled, now I had this wart for years, at least I'd say 7 years. I pulled the patch off and the wart came with it. And now I just have smooth skin there. So that was a miracle. And I also wanted to share about my dog. I've been patching, I have a 14-year-old dog who's been dragging, and just sort of, when I'd walk him, I'd have to sort of pull him along with a leash. So I started putting the X39, I tape it to the back of his neck. So first I was doing it every other day. Then I was taking some of my used patches and putting it on him. Well, the dog is like a different dog now. He's prancing and he's pulling me on the leash. It's pretty amazing. And then, the last thing I wanted to mention was that Ice Wave has been just, a savior in terms of first aid for me, because I'm very tall and I tend to like pull muscles. And anyway, so I had wrenched my back and I used Ice Wave, and the pain went from an 8 to a 2 in a matter of minutes. And it took about 3 days, completely gone, because the injury had happened on a Saturday, and I made an appointment to see my chiropractor on Monday, and then I canceled the appointment. So I haven't needed to go to see a chiropractor. So that's kind of great. So can you all see that? I mean, I don't know if I can make it bigger, but basically this was my foot and leg, edema, very tender to the touch. All this was like this bruising. And then in 3 months, this is what it looks like. I mean, I have an arch again. My feet don't hurt me when I walk. I mean, they were starting to do that. And anyway, it's pretty remarkable. People say jaw dropping. I think it is jaw dropping.
Wow.
Extraordinary.
And I just feel like now, so as I said, it's kind of at this, it's at this point now, you know, for the past 3 months, it's sort of been at that level, but I know deep in my bones that these patches are working other things in my body where it's needed. Because I just, you know, needed to show me visibly what it can do. And now I know that other things are, well, I know my brain is changing with my math skills. So.
Wow. So many different results, you know, just hearing from, you know, you had 5 or 6 different things and then your foot and I mean, that's, I think you had that condition for how long? Maybe 15 or 20
15
years?
years at least. I mean, as I said, I got kicked when I was a teenager and it never, I always had kind of a swelling, but as I got older, it just got worse and worse. And by the time I was in my 50s, and now I'm in my 60s, but you know, my leg looked like the leg of a 90-year-old. So, so I'd say the last 15 years it had been that bad.
Wow.